My name's Emily, I'm 18 and I've been in a relationship for just over a year.
Do you argue in your relationship?
Definitely.
What do you argue about?
Silly things really, just sort of disagreements and difference of opinion.
Are there any insecurities in your relationship and why?
Definitely, I'd say, there's always that insecurity that, they're going to find somebody else. And I guess that just comes from, really, really liking them and just being afraid that you're going to lose them.
What do you think about my idea? This film takes place in a school the day after a couple has a massive argument. They both ignore each other until the English literature lesson. In this lesson, they learn that relationships take work and people need to trust each other. Flashbacks from the night before will be shown, helping them make their final decision.
I think it's a really good idea because it's going to show a different side to relationships that, sort of film and TV don't usually show.
Do you believe this film can be realistic and why?
Definitely. I think, your idea in itself is a realistic version of a relationship. So I think, it's definitely got the, stability to be realistic.
Okay.
I'm Chloe, I'm 18 years old and I've been in a relationship for nearly 2 years and a half.
Do you argue in your relationship?
We do, but in my opinion it's healthy to argue, but we usually argue about whether we have our own opinions, just bickering sometimes, but yeah.
Are there any insecurities in your relationship and why?
I think that there is one main insecurity in my relationship, especially from my behalf. My insecurity is whether I am the best person that I could be towards my other half. Sometimes I get, opinions about myself, whether I'm better than other people. Because I sometimes think that other people are better than me, but other than that, that's only the main security.
What do you think about my idea? This film takes place in a school the day after a couple has a massive argument. They both ignore each other until the English literature lesson. In this lesson, they learn that relationships take work and people need to trust each other. Flashbacks from the night before will be shown, helping them make their final decision.
I think that your brief idea would be realistic in couples' eyes that have experienced arguments, because they all go through it, especially if they have to carry on with their normal day life, whether it's going to work, going into education, and knowing that something like arguments that has happened, and I think that by showing flashbacks would give it more of a connection of them thinking about it. So
Okay.
So my name is Jason and I'm 19 years old and I've been in a relationship for 10 months.
Do you argue in your relationship?
Honestly, not one argument. We might have joking arguments like what's better, tea or coffee, but that's about it really,
Are there any insecurities in your relationship and why?
It's not insecurities about us per se, but individual ones. So like my girlfriend's sometimes a bit cautious of her look, and I'm the same. I'm a little bit, thinking, oh God, I look bad, but then she'll say no you don't, and then we'll flip it, and then that might be when we argue because we tell each other, oh no you're fine, but we're like that.
What do you think about my idea? This film takes place in a school the day after a couple has a massive argument. They both ignore each other until the English literature lesson. In this lesson, they learn that relationships take work and people need to trust each other. Flashbacks from the night before will be shown, helping them make their final decision.
Yeah, it's a good idea because it's about two people. It's a good story. It's not, no subplots. It's just them, and it's relevant as well because they're at school and people who might watch it could be college students or young kids. So yeah, it's really good.
Do you believe this film can be realistic and why?
Definitely, because in terms of making it, you can easily make it because it's just two people and the story there and that, and it's realistic because it's relevant. You know, it's like, you know, name a couple that don't argue. I know I said we don't argue, but it's bound to happen, and it's good to see that. So.